Hi, this is Team Roommate Budget Helper, and this is our lessons and learn presentation. My name is Zhizhou Huang, and here's my teammates, Darcy Xie, Lan Xiwang, and Zhisan Liu. So firstly, I will give you a project overview. Roommate Budget Helper provides a platform for roommates with frequent external bills that they have the need to share them in complex way, and they're gonna record the share plan, or they want to keep track of evidence of payment and internal balance. This web app will track all the utilities, rent, all the house exposures. I'm gonna talking about the core features. The first is about the user can set up home, join a home, invite roommates, all the things like users can manipulate with the room and its roommates. The second one is users payment should be auto calculated and split. For this part, we only need users to input the total amount and also input how the user want to share this bill equally or in some specific ratio, and the application gonna calculate it for them. Then user can upload payment with proof. This is a part where users can upload a picture, maybe like screenshot of the receipt, which can actually show like to prove that they actually paid the bill. The next part is users can track their payment history. Basically, it's auditing function in our project. The last core features is called users can schedule recurring payments. The recurring payment is basically for rent, utilities that you're gonna happen like maybe once a month or like once a week. Users only need to change the amount each time instead of like set up like again and again. um, Here is the lessons and learned. That's all the 7 aspects, and I will start with the first one. Okay, the first lesson we learned is called design wisely. I think design wisely start with choose technology that team is familiar with or confident to command. I think it's really important to do some viability research when you actually design the project. For instance, when we design the backend testing, we are trying to use Mocha to automatically test the backend. And the team doing like some research, and we all agree that we can learn this technology in 1 weekend or two, and then we finally choose that. The second part is understand the priority of the features. For this project, our clients gave us some must-have features, give us some good-to-have features. I think understand the priority of them, like to decide which we should consider at the first, and what is like it's good to have, but it's okay if we cannot complete them, and that will be very helpful when we actually design architecture. Um, like to decide which and also help us to understanding the user's actual needs. The last part is about big picture thinking. In our design process, we are not like simply design the backend, front end, or database separately. We actually think about like what is the project that our clients actually want, and that's really help us during our coding time.
Okay, so after you chose your project wisely, the first thing you want to do is make sure your team has good communication. The first thing you start that off with is to get the communication tool set up with all the team members. It doesn't have to be the best one, but it just have to be the correct one that every teammate are comfortably using and frequently checks the message on them. Then you might want to do some bonding activities. Our groups go out for dinner frequently to talk with each other, get to know with each other, so we can communicate better when we are actually doing the project. Then besides you get to know each other for the actual project, when people are not used to report their progress frequently. So that's why you need to have the weekly meeting with the client, with the advisor, and internally with the team members. so that you have a clear idea of where the team is right now and how to track the progress. The fourth one, also very important, is discuss on any dissents you have. Like any dissents, if you have them, you can just share them with your teammates. That one is important because when you're actually doing the project, you don't want to deal with something you don't agree with. So you might want to settle that down in the first place. All right, so you have the good communication, but another thing you need is leadership. Leadership, I know that every team may think that they don't need a leadership, or it's hard to pick a leader at first to guide the group how to go through the project. But that's okay. You can pick a leader anytime, anywhere you want. It doesn't have to be in the autumn or in the winter. It can be in the spring, as long as the leader helps representing the group every meeting, so you don't have a lot of people talking about the same thing over and over again. One person is enough for talking about progress, and one person can distribute the work every week. So that's for weekly group meeting. One person can guide the meeting to be more efficient. And one person can settle the standards for each milestone. So you might want to have a person to check whether how each milestone is completed before you report to your advisor and to the client. So you can get more valuable feedbacks from them. So you don't have the dummy mistakes. And all of the above makes the group united instead of chaotic.
Double-checking the list of requirements with a client is another important lesson we've learned. As developers, we should never assume anything by ourselves. Whenever we are not sure about any specific requirements, we always discuss them with our advisor or client to figure them out and take notes on their explanations. Repeat what they said by your own words is the most efficient way to check if you are on the right track. Most importantly, the team needs to make sure every team member has a correct understanding of the requirements. Another thing we learned is the importance of the release plan. The release plan helps the team to prioritize core features and add other features according to their importance. With this plan, the team has specific goals to achieve every sprint, and we can easily monitor project progress from sprint to sprint. After completing each release, the client could have a sign-off to make sure the project is in the right direction.
A coding style, an important thing we learned was the code standard, because we wanted to let every member know what a tag in HTML CSS refers to, and we want everybody understand others' code. So, for ourselves, we use a BEM rule, which let us to know the structure of the page, and we also use the camel case for the type grade, which was something that we thought we did really well, and we also recommend that to every other team. So having a good code standard helps the design process a lot. And also, a wisely designed data types are also needed, because no matter what kind of languages you use, you still need to get data from the backend. And for front-end developers, they need to know the type of the data. So for data type, we suggest people design the data type together, so everybody in the team knows what kind of data types are available in the project. And also, we think modularizing the project structure is really important, because if we generalize the steps to implement features, no matter what kind of feature we need to implement, we just need to follow the steps and write new logic, which improve the efficiency dramatically. And also, lastly, a team should do a very good code review. So team members team members learn how to code better by reviewing others' code. So that's why we think code review is also important. And also for version control, we think using visualized Git control tool is very important, and you should avoid command line tool, because a visualized Git control tool enables you to see the network graphs and keep track of the work progress easily. And also for a team, they need to keep the feature branches ahead of the master, which was something that did very well. Because for the code reviewer, they don't know how to resolve the conflict if they need to merge your code into the master. So if you keep your feature branches ahead of the master, they don't need to resolve any conflict. And next, you should notify your team members when you update the branch, because in order to keep everyone on the same page, you need to let other people know what happened, which is another reason why we use the visualized Git control tool, because help us to monitor the overall progress. And lastly, clear notes for each submission is really important, because if we want to look back to see what went wrong, we need to read the notes and see how that person wrote the code. So clear notes is really important. And yeah, that's all.